In this movie, what seems like a normal fishing trip turns into a fight for survival for the protagonist Kolodziej and his uncle. The movie begins with a beautiful evening in the Polish countryside, where a police officer, Kolodziej, and his uncle Bardacha are fishing peacefully, surrounded by dense forests away from the city's hustle and bustle. Just as Kolodziej thinks he caught a fish, a massive lightning bolt shoots down from the sky into the forest and bounces into the water, sending shockwaves. Shortly after, the lifeless bodies of the fish begin to rise to the water's surface as the lightning kills them. Kolodziej uses his net to get some fish, and they grill it over the campfire. Meanwhile, his uncle Bardacha gets philosophical about the circle of life, likening their existence to that of the fish that just died while they were simply going about their days as usual. Kolodziej consoles his uncle, suggesting that instead of fishing, they try a simpler activity next time, like mushroom picking. Suddenly, a noise captures Kolodziej's attention, and he follows it to see a convoy of Żelazna Góra special forces speeding past them. Later, the two men enjoy their meal and drinks, after which they prepare to sleep in the woods. A patrolling helicopter flies over their camp, and we see Kolodziej drift off to sleep, where he dreams about being in a barren wasteland and sees a woman's face in a massive tree that is guarded by a lightning-charged glass wall. The morning after, Kolodziej wakes up to the sound of a nearby vehicle and sees the same woman from his dream last night. Blaming it on the cheap vodka from the night before, he gets out of his sleeping bag and offers to help the woman, as her SUV is stuck in the mud. However, she ignores him and manages to free it herself, only to drive away. His uncle joins him, remembering how his ex-wife, Bazia, was also unapproachable in the beginning. But then they got married and had kids, only to divorce later, with Bazia getting everything. It is clear that Bardacha is not over his ex-wife, so Kolodziej advises him to change his getup and lose the mustache, so he can find another partner. As they are talking, the uncle notices a giant cloud of smoke at some distance and wonders what it is. A few moments later, Bardacha starts packing, while Kolodziej watches the news, where the weather guy reports unusual atmospheric phenomena. According to him, the whole country has been hit by violent short storms since last evening. Though the government is tackling the damages, some of the towns in the cosmopolitan region of Poland are still cut off from the rest of the world. A few moments later, when they are ready to head home, Kolodziej suggests checking out the source of the smoke cloud, though his uncle fully understands that he wants to talk to that woman again. While he teases her, Kolodziej drives in the direction of the smoke. Meanwhile, we see a military base set within the heart of the jungle, implying that there is a more sinister force at play. Upon arriving at the base, Kolodziej is very curious, whereas Bardacha couldn't care less, and he snores deeply. Kolodziej explores the seemingly vacant base to see if anyone is around, but finds it empty. Inside one of the canopies, he finds an elaborate map of the country with a few marked cities. Judging it to be classified information, Kolodziej brings out his police badge and continues his investigation. He finds a trunk with some strange artifacts and skulls, and then comes across some framed mirrors. As he keeps walking, he reaches the edge where he notices the singed land, which looks as if a meteor fell over it. He finds a ladder and descends into the smoke-emitting crater, but just as his feet touch the ground, he is shocked to see a stone statue of military personnel. This catches him off guard, and he trips, falling a few feet below. Wincing in pain, Kolodziej struggles to get off the ground, brushing himself off as he surveys the eerie surroundings. With a mixture of frustration and anxiety, he announces that he is a cop, though he is a little pissed that no one down below has any regard. However, Kolodziej's exploration comes to an abrupt halt when he notices soldiers, officers, and crew members turn to stone, suspended in the middle of their actions. What's common among all the stone people is their expression of fear and surprise. Just then, Kolodziej hears some footsteps approaching him, so he tries to introduce himself. The other man seems to be running from whatever is following him, so Kolodziej takes cover behind a wall. When he glances back at the man, he receives the shock of his life as the guy slowly turns into stone before his eyes. Just then, a creepy voice echoes in the cavern, citing that whoever comes here will never return and will be turned into stone, which leaves Kolodziej frozen in terror. However, he snaps back to reality and grabs a nearby spotlight to attack if need be. Suddenly, he hears footsteps, as if someone is running toward him. He gets ready to attack, but it is the same woman from before who yells at him to run for his life. Unable to move, Kolodziej hears a strange sound nearby, followed by two bright eyes glaring at him from the dark. While the woman shouts not to look into the eyes of the monster, just then the creature steps out of the shadows. So, Kolodziej runs for his life and asks the woman if the creature is a basilisk, while they rush to the top of the ladder. Once outside, they hide by the trucks, but the basilisk follows them and climbs its way out of the cavern. Kolodziej distracts it by throwing a stone in another direction, while the woman asks him to look for mirrors since they are the only way to deal with a basilisk. Just when they find a few mirrors, the basilisk suddenly appears, with its gaze fixed on Kolodziej, who smashes the mirror he is clutching against the basilisk's head. The woman shouts in dismay that he was supposed to make the basilisk look at its reflection in the mirror so it would turn to stone and die. Suddenly, they hear an automobile approaching them, and it is none other than Uncle Bardasha, who slams his car into the basilisk until it falls back into the cavern. It returns to the surface and knocks Bardasha over while using its tail to hurl Kolodziej into a nearby tree. As he is knocked out, Kolodziej finds himself in the same setting as his dream and stands near the guarded tree. When he notices a strange mark on his hand, he jolts awake and captures the basilisk's attention, who's trying to petrify the woman while she covers her eyes. Once it sets its menacing gaze on Kolodziej, he slowly starts turning to stone. Just then, Kolodziej holds his phone in front of the basilisk, using it as a makeshift mirror that reflects the basilisk's gaze back at itself, its own eyes locked onto its reflection. In an instant, the creature's body begins to stiffen and its scales harden into a gray, rocky exterior. As the basilisk turns to stone, its period of inducing terror is over. In the end, more teams arrive and the stone statues of the military personnel are extracted from the cavern. Later, once the woman delegates all tasks to her juniors, she casually informs Kolodziej that the authorities will call him. As they part ways, Kolodziej asks her out, to which she agrees, and this is where the film ends. With that, the movie ends. Thanks for watching Legendy Polskie, film Operacja Bazyliszek, Allegro. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you next time. Welcome, sci-fi fans. Futurist Flicks is thrilled to launch our exclusive membership program designed for loyal fans like you. By joining, you'll unlock early access to recap videos, unseen recap videos, raffle prizes, free merch giveaways, exclusive content and behind-the-scenes insights, access to community events, live streams, and Q&A sessions. Join the Cosmic Crew today and get instant access to exclusive perks. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more intergalactic adventures.